Hey everybody, this is Sean. Real quick, this is going to be my first part of the Chicago Wizard World haul. So, no particular order. I got two parts to this because I got a bunch of books, so I'm gonna go through these pretty quick. After working working the booth for a friend of mine, I was able to get on the floor. These were actually $1 a piece. Nothing special about these other than they were in really good shape in their first prints. And they present well. So can't pass it up. Supergirl #1, 1996. Picked up a couple copies of Eternals #1, Jack Kirby, 1976 goodness. They were under $5 a piece. Vin Crew turned me on to this. This is the first cover appearance, maybe the first appearance of Citizen Steel, who's going to be on Legends of Tomorrow this year. It's a Alex Ross cover. He does appear on issue 1 in the corner on the right hand side, so I'm not sure how they're going to look at this, but I do believe this tells his story. Marshall Rogers goodness from, I think this is early 79 or 78 because it talks about being in the Superman movie, but this is a Bronze Age appearance of Hugo Strange. This is another one of those lost books that I always seem to find no matter what. This was from Comics for Less. So the next couple books were all $5 or less. Crisis on Infinite Earth #1, George Perez, goodness with Marv Wolfman. Then I found 3 copies of Crisis on Infinite Earth, #8. The middle one is in definitely better shape. So I needed these for runs. So now I've got those. Another book that can go for a pretty penny when you can buy it in high grade for some reason. I remember this from 1975 when I was a kid. Didn't think that was much to it, but it does have quite a bit of a good cast in it. Champions #1. So Don Beck art, Ghost Rider, some of the X-Men, and Hercules and Black Widow. This book is considered the 4th race between Flash and Superman. DC Comics presents #1. This is in much better shape than the one I had, so I picked this up. First, Superboy Prime. This is another DC Comics presents #87. Nothing to me says more about the 70s than George Washington with a flaming sword fighting Robin on the cover. This is Batman Family #1. The reason I bought it, it's Mike Grell art, but it's also got a Neil Adams art story in here too. It was in good shape, and it was $5. These giants, I remember these were awesome when I was a kid, so looking forward to reading this again. This book was a good find for me. This book can be about a $20 book, and I paid $5 for it. Frank Thorne art, Red Sonja #1, her first solo series. I do believe this came out after Marvel Feature #1, where she's on the cover, and I think that's a Neil Adams cover. Not her first appearance, but still a cool book anyway. Picked up 2 more copies of Supervillain Team Up, Doom and Namor versus Tiger Shark and Atuma. So can't complain about that. One's in definitely better the other shape. This one will be a keeper. A couple more of the Marvel Superhero Secret Wars #1 variant. This is the one where it has Galactus on one page who is blue and white instead of his pink and purple. I'm not sure which are the 2 manlier of the colors, but hey, he eats world. So anyway, Mike Zeck art. This is like my 5th or 6th copy, so I think I'm done. First appearance of Bishop. Wiles Petrosio art. Huge fan of his art, and I follow him on Instagram. If you guys don't, you should. He does some amazing pencils and sketches, and he goes everywhere. So this book was a no-brainer. I think it was a couple bucks. Another copy of Special Edition X-Men #1, nicer than the one I just found. I do believe this was only a couple bucks. I don't think I paid $5 for this. This was $2 from Comics for Less. But it also has a backup story. Kitty Pryde, 3rd copy. This book is actually starting to pick up steam. This is I don't know if this is the variant cover or is this the regular one. It's not in the greatest shape, but it's Wolverine and Venom. So I picked it up. This is for my Grant Morrison and Howard Porter run, JLA #1. I've never owned this before. Also picked up a bunch of the Rock of Ages storyline, so I'm excited about reading these. This one I thought was a good find. This presents very well. This is just a Legion of Superheroes from the 70s. This is issue #1. Nothing else spectacular about it other than it's a #1, and it was like $5. And who can forget Skull the Slayer? This is another #1. I think he's coming back in Marvel Comics, where he's already made his debut. I picked it up. Just really like the cover, and I do believe that's Gil Kane art. This book is starting to go up to, this is a $20 or $15 to $20 book online. Secret Origins, all it is reprints of Superman, Flash, and Batman. But I thought it was pretty neat. Much better than the copy I had. Then this is another book from the 70s. I just dig these 70s DC books that presents really, really well. This is Secret Society of Supervillains #1. Ernie, I think it's Ernie Chua art on the front, so that was pretty cool. Picked this up for $5. I'll pick this up all day long. I think Klaus Janson was an underrated inker and definitely an underrated artist in his time, considering all the work he did on the Daredevil run with Miller after Miller stopped drawing and he started going ahead and scripting out the books. Punisher #1. $5, I believe. This is probably one of my favorite finds. This was $2. 1974, the last collaboration with Simon and Kirby, Sandman. It's not the purple variant, but it presents very, very well. It's complete, and it's an awesome cover. So I'll always pick this up when I can find it. This is a $20, $25 book all day long in this condition, and I couldn't believe I found it for $2. $2. So that's awesome for me. Picked up another couple copies of this. This is called The Conqueror #1, Wally Wood art from early 70s. Presents very well, good shape. Paid like $5 for it. This is one of the nicer books that I picked up while I was there. Marvel Spotlight #1, Neil Adams cover, Red Wolf in his first solo adventure. Just dig it. It's great. Being American Indian myself, I thought this was super cool. And then I picked up Moon Knight #1 again for $5. So this wasn't my big books, but that was just a quick run of some of the stuff I bought. So I'll show you the book that I was probably the most excited about picking up before I break it up into one more video. This is A Man Called Nova #1, and the only reason I'm so excited about this is the shape it's in. So this was raw. Picked it up from Dave and Adams at their show, or at their booth. Everything at their booth was 50% off. I think I paid like $30 for it, but the corners are flawless. I know it's not a super perfect book, but I gotta say it's got to be in the 9s, somewhere in there. Very happy to get this. Richard Rider, John Moshima cover. Can't go wrong with that. Super excited about this. So yeah, that's my haul for this week, guys. I'll share part 2 with you next week. Hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.